Okay, today we're going to be running through making a USB together so that you can make your own USB designs when you finish your development work. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new project. So you can do this by clicking on the new project button just here, or if you can't see this project pane, you can click, just go full screen and click on the waffle up here. It's going to open up your projects pane, and we're just going to go new project. And I'll call this year 9 USB shoot, and we're going to hit enter on that one. And we'll go into that project. So we've got it up here, we know it's open. I'm going to create this new file. The first thing I'm going to do to make sure things are saved the whole time is I'm going to click on the save icon, the floppy drive, and I'm going to call it try1. Perfect. And now I'm ready to start drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new sketch. So I'm going to click on the create sketch button here, and I'm going to select the top face. So if you look at your cube up here, you've got top, right, and front, and they align to these different selectable orange quadrilaterals here. So that one there, that's the top, that one's the front, and that one would be the left hand or right hand side, depending on how you want to look at it. So we're going to start on the top. So I'm going to click here, top, I'm going to click on that one. And we'll know we're on the top because it snaps round and my cube up here is reading top. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a rectangle, and I'm going to use the center rectangle tool. Now, I could go and hunt around for it up here in the buttons, but that's a really slow way of doing it. Fusion has a spotlight as such built into it. So if you hit S for search, you can search your shortcuts. So I'm going to make a rectangle, REC, and I want to do a center rectangle. I'm going to click in there. I'm going to click on the middle piece here. And then I've got a rectangle here. And I'm not going to click again. I'm going to move it, and I'm going to give it some dimensions. So the first dimension going this way, I'm going to make it 28 mil. And then I hit the tab key. And then I'm going to go 45, and I'm going to hit enter. And it's made my square for me. Now I need to know how much I'm going to extrude that. So like how thick I'm going to make that particular piece. So I'm going to draw the middle piece first. And that middle piece is 4.7 millimeters thick. So to turn that, so if I hold shift and my middle mouse key, I can see that I've got like a 2D rectangle in space, like that. In order to make that 3D, I need to do an extrude command. So I could type in S and type in extrude. You could click up here and you create an extrude, or the other option is you hit E, which is the shortcut for extrude. I hover over, I select my square, and I want it to go up 4.7 millimeters, like that. And that's my middle piece there. Just like that, okay? Now what I need to do is I need to actually, I can make a shape on that particular design that I've done. So if I just wanted to make a square like that, I could do that design. If I was to make something with curves in it, for example, so let's say that I wanted these sides to curl in, so I've just hit Command Z to undo to go back. I could hit S, and I'm going to type in arc, and I'm going to do a 3-point arc, and I'm going to click here and here, and then I'm going to snap it to the grid about there. I'm going to click on the bottom as well. And snap it to the grid in there like that. So I've changed that drawing. And if I hit escape, I can actually click on these outside lines and delete them. And then once again, I could hit extrude, click on that shape, and make it 4.6 millimeters. So let's do it like that. That's looking a little bit more interesting, I think. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. All right, so I might decide that the back of it down here, I might actually want to make that so that it is a bit rounded. So I can do that using the fillet tool. So if I hit S and type in fillet, I can click on that corner, and maybe like a 3 mil fillet. Yeah, it was looking pretty cool. I'm going to hit 3, and I'm going to hit enter. And now I've got that middle part of my USB done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to body. So we're going to have different bodies or parts, if you like. I'm going to click this arrow here, and this body 1, I'm going to click here, click again to rename, and I'm going to call that mid. Now, if I was going to have all of my parts the same thickness, the next part that I would be doing, so I'm going to put this top bit of plastic on mine. I'm going to hit E for extrude. I'm going to select this face here, and I'm going to make this one 3.2 millimeters thick. But it's just pushed it up 3.2 millimeters, which is not exactly what I want. I'm going to make that 3.2 millimeters thick because that's how thick the acrylic is. And if I go back to operation, instead of it being a join, I'm going to change it to a new body. And this is going to start putting the layers in so it looks a bit more realistic. So I'm going to hit OK on that. And that's put over in the bodies here. That's made this new body 2. So I'm going to click that one again. So you can right click and do a rename, or you can do just 2 slow clicks like that. I'm going to call that one top. And then if I use my shift and my middle mouse button and have a look underneath like this, just click off it so it's not quite as confusing. I know I'm on the bottom because it says bottom up here in the top right hand corner. I'm going to hit extrude again. And I'm going to hover over that face there. And I'm going to go 3.2 down this way. And once again, operation, new body. Hit OK. And now I've got something that's starting to look like a USB. It's a bit confusing though because the materials aren't exactly, it just looks like a big grey blob. So I can actually make those parts look like the colours that I'm thinking about making for my design. So I'm going to hit A for appearance, and that brings up this appearance dialog box. I'm going to go to plastic. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to transparent and acrylic clear. That's going to be the middle piece. I'm going to hold and drag and hover that over the middle piece there. Just route that down the side for now. And my top piece, I'm going to have it maybe solid. So I'm going to go to opaque up here, which is for solid colors. And I'm going to do red on the top. So I'll drag that to the top piece. And red on the bottom down here. So that's starting to give me a bit of an idea of what my USB is actually going to look like. Okay. And if you want to see what it's going to look like in sort of real life as such, you can click on model up here and go over to render. Move it around, have a look on the edge like this. And then if in canvas render, if you hit on this play button here, it'll actually do some computing. And if you leave it for long enough, it'll start to give you quite a realistic version of what your design is going to look like in real life once you've finished. Okay, the next step I'm going to show you in the next video is how to insert the USB drive. Thank you.